today. Pick up what you need. The rest, don't worry about. This is going to be fun. Let's get started. What you can expect is to envision your success, to engage your own number one fan, which is very, very important, empower your feelings and focus, and expand your opportunities. So that's what you will be able to experience by the time we finish over these next 40-something minutes. All right, how does success work? Well, the reason you guys are all here today is because you want a successful business. Am I wrong? Is there anybody here who doesn't want a successful business? Because I think you might be in the wrong room. Anybody? No? Okay. So, I even want a successful business, right? My goal is that I'm so good today that I get more opportunities to keynote. The challenge is that we think success is getting this stage, getting the business, getting the money, getting the cars, getting all the things, the marriage, the life, the promotions. That's not success. Success is actually your ability to habituate the things that create success. And that's what most people don't tell us. So today I'm going to take you through an acronym, BIG, B-I-G, because I believe in big dreams. And that makes it easy for you to remember. So you'll hear that, but we're going to really talk about what it takes so that you can experience the sustained and lasting success. Not just getting that thing and then trying to get the next, and then trying to get the next, and then trying to get the next, but getting to the place where you can't not, where it's just who you are. And that's what makes it fun. That's what makes it amazing. Even in the midst of the darkest days, you will still see light when you create that standard and that habit of success. Sound good? Yes. All right, again, this is what it generally feels like. We go to these seminars, we come to these places, they make all these promises, we invest all this money, but oh my God, the amazing part, how much does it cost? Free. There you go, right? So it's different today. But we generally go to all these different things and we look for all these opportunities and we keep investing in all these promises, and we end up just feeling like, why doesn't it work for me? What's wrong with me? Why can't I get it right? Day after day, month after month, year after year. And it's because often we aren't told that it's the habit. If you don't remember anything else from me today, remember, you always want the habit, not the result. Because if you get the habit, you'll create the result and you'll keep it. So when anybody makes you a promise from this forth on, what habit will I have established by the time I finish working with you? Get as much help as you can, because when it's a habit, you can't not do it. Okay? So this is who I am. I am a person who was formerly incarcerated when I was 20 years old. I was brought up in a lot of violence, I was one of those kids that used to wonder why I was here. I was taught to be not seen and not heard. A lot of alcoholic men in my life. You do the math. It's not a happy upbringing. I don't have kids because of that, because I hated my childhood. Absolutely hated it. And I believe children should love it. That's why I love being here with you guys, because you guys are creating environments for children to learn to love who they are. My sister is my muse. She's up there on the top right. When I leave here today, she has sickle cell. So she's been sick her entire life. And she's actually the impetus for why I'm here. I left corporate after being incarcerated, going back and getting my degree and an MBA, right? All the things. I left corporate to actually step in on her. And I lived in an RV one time where I drove around and said, what could you do if you knew you would not fail? Because there is no failure. One, failure is only final if you quit. Failure is only learning. And the opposite of success is failure. It's like a coin. You can't have one without the other. The most successful people in the world, the only thing they do better than us is fail. That's it. Incredibly successful people just fail more than the average person. Because it takes a lot of failure, mistakes, missteps, setbacks, naysayers, critics, before you actually hit the stride of success. And then that only lasts so long before you hit the next bumps and hurdles. So success is meant to be like sir, just some of the companies couldn't fit them all on. If I tried to, then you wouldn't be able to see them. And that's important, you got to see, right? Right? So why are you here today? Because Collaborative for Children has created an opportunity for you to invest in yourself. As you go through these programs and you listen today, listen for things that you can implement immediately. These people are here to help you. Only people who have lasting success invest in yourself. There's no such thing as there. There is no there. Life is a consistent evolving of you learning to be better and better every day. The most successful people in life understand that I'm going to have to learn. How many of you guys in here want an amazing life and an amazing business? Raise your hand. All right, how many of you guys can tell me when was the last time you did something amazing? I'm not yet, okay. But I want you to notice the difference of the hands that went up. I want you to notice, in order to have an amazing outcome, you must be doing amazing activities. Everything you do creates what you want. The law of increase says whatever you plant, you will harvest. So planting is just the activities that you do, your thoughts, your words. Everything you do every day creates your future. Even in this moment, whatever you're thinking, you're creating. Thoughts become things. So that's what we're going to move through. They have thought about how they can help you. So take this serious, right? As they said, make a friend. Find someone you can follow up with. Every time I go to a conference, I make a new friend, and then I contact that person consistently. I keep looking until I find someone who's serious about creating the success from the investment of my time. Look for somebody like that today. So, why dream big? Why BIG? Because in order for you to have any level of greatness, you got to first see it in your mind. There is no such thing as greatness without someone having saw it in their mind first. I want you to think about some of the best innovations, the best things that have been created in life to date. Somebody saw it in their mind. So if you're not seeing your greatness, if you're not seeing your amazing business, if you're not seeing success, and what does that look like? It's not just about money. If you're not envisioning all the kids running around laughing, having a good time at your center, if you're not imagining the cars lined up to pick up the kids outside of your center, right? If you're not imagining the family days that you create for your center, it ain't going to happen. It's not. The one thing I can promise you is if you don't hold the image in your mind, you definitely won't create it in reality. So what is a vision? Simply what you believe. The challenge is, most of us have a locked-in belief system that was created when we were around 7 or 8 years old. If you have not sat down and intentionally created and decided, written out, and created what you want your life to be, who you want to be, then you are following a blueprint that was given to you by your parents. And if your parents didn't go where you want to go, then it's like you have a map that's taking you to Houston, but you want to go to Oklahoma. And the GPS keeps screaming, turn left, turn left, turn left, turn left. Right? So the GPS, which is the chatter in your head, I call it the chick of the dude. Even as you're listening to me, oh my God, they're going bananas. They're reminding you of what you didn't do, what you need to do. I heard somebody say this before. What is she wearing? Right? Those dreadlocks? Right. The voice in your head never stops. From the time you wake up, it is going on and on and on. And until you turn that voice until your cheerleader and champion, make it your #1 fan, you will fight yourself. I want you to understand it's never anything that's outside of you. No one is telling you no, stop, don't. And if they did, they can't. Once you get the vision comes through. You can call it God, divine, Buddha, Allah, the source, the goddess. Whatever I'm traveling, COVID happened. Then when COVID was over, I started traveling again, and then my mom called me, because I was living in Austin, and said, we need help. Your sister's getting worse. She's sickle cell. My entire life, she's been in and out of hospital. She's been near death 4 times. She's literally the reason I live in Texas. I lived in New York, and every vacation I got, I was coming to Texas to see her. And I was like, if I don't move to Texas, I ain't never go nowhere. So I moved here. I'm in Austin. She's in Dallas. She came to visit me one time. Ended up going by Chris Cole Rehabilitation Center. Found out they had a program because she's legally blind also. So she ended up relocating to go to that 9-month program. And in an instant, in the kitchen as I stood there, I heard, you can't send her back to Dallas. Our parents don't live on a bus line. They live in the suburbs of Duncanville. She can't go anywhere. She's locked in. She's down here in Austin where there's buses, and she can call that, I forget what they call it, that little bus that comes pick you up when you're disabled. She can get anywhere she wanted to go on her own. She ain't got a boyfriend. I ain't even So she came and the vision changed. So you have to understand the vision evolves. But the joy, the whole point of life is that we're doing this so that we can create a life to be with people we love. And I tell people when I left corporate so that she could stay in Austin, and I had a 6-figure job, right, that turned my life around. But the interesting part is I was miserable. I had gotten all this stuff. I had the job, I had the title, I had the degrees, right? I had all these things, but I was absolutely miserable because it didn't matter. I wanted something that was meeting. I was traveling 10-state territory, and I kept asking God, is this it? Is this it? The thing that I enjoyed the most was when I was home, when I was in the women's ministry, when I was working and helping codependent women and helping, because I had had suicidal ideation twice in my life by then. Once in my 20s, the second time when my fiance passed away suddenly. So I was helping people to really believe that their life had purpose and meaning, that everything was working in your favor. That's what I love, not this pharmaceutical biotech job that I had traveling around making all this money. And then here comes my sister. So I said yes, because again, as I tell people, the option when I got clear, it was your sister or your job. There was no option to me. Never chose the job over a person. And she changed my life. I gave her the gift of love, and I got the gift of life, and I became an entrepreneur and a speaker. Right? So, your belief, understand, statistics show that 1 in 5 successful entrepreneurs use vision boards, and that 76% of entrepreneurs who are just business owners confirm their business became what they envisioned. So until you get clear about what you want to create, what this business looks like, what your life looks like, who's in your life, you're going to struggle. Because everything outside of you is going to matter more than the chick or the dude in your head. Everything you need to know is already in you. It's already in you. We are born with everything we need to know. That intuitive voice will guide you. There is infiniteness that exists outside of us. You are not limited. There is no can't. Conditioning accepts negative thoughts. C-A-N-T. Conditioning accepts negative thoughts. You actually can when your creativity is actively nurtured.
Say it one more time.
Creativity actively nurtured. You absolutely can do anything you're called to do. You're always ready. Universe, God, Buddha, Allah, the source, whatever you want to call it, never sets you up to feel or look bad. It's your fear that creates that, not the circumstance.
Can you repeat that again?
Conditioning accepts negative thoughts. Again, who uses vision boards? And these people up here as well. They work. They really do work. You're looking at social media, TV, all of these billboards that are getting you to buy. A vision board is simply you creating an advertisement for your life. You've decided what you want, who you want to be, what you want to have. and you create the advertising for yourself instead of letting everybody else advertise to you. And this is what happens when you don't get clear. You end up focused on what you don't want. I want you to understand that most people ask the question, what do you want with your life? What do you want your business to be? They will start answering me one question, and then they will immediately start telling me what they don't want. Whatever you speak, you create. Speak what you seek until you see what you say. Speak what you seek until you see what you say.
One more time.
Speak what you seek until you see what you say. So again, until you learn to, regardless of circumstances, situation, and people that are external to you, to speak the vision that you want, regardless, you're going to always be delayed, denied, deterred, dissuaded by doubt, naysayer, critics, self-talk. All of that negative will keep you off the path. Everything is happening for you. So another, believe, Zoom. Everybody knows Zoom, right? During the pandemic, they had a vision that we will grow. Their employees worked hours that were just unimaginable, but they had a vision that they were going to help and create and have an amazing company after all of this happened. And they did. And they do now. Oprah is another example. Everybody knows Oprah, right? We literally watched that woman sit on that couch for 25 years and get coached to be a billionaire. Everybody she had on that couch was telling her, be better, do better, have more, be more. She lived her life out loud, authentically in front of everybody, all her problems, all her challenges, all her doubts. If you care what somebody thinks about you, you immediately cause yourself to not have what you want.
Yes.
If you have secrets that you care that people find out, the secret has the power. I'll say it again. If you have things that you care that people find out about you, that secret has the power. Because you live a life of if they only knew. It makes you insecure, it makes you doubt, it makes you have fear. It's very amazing. I was raised in a house where there's a lot of abuse, a lot of secrets, a lot of pink elephants now calling me, told not to say stuff. So I carried that shame for years. For years. I just completed something that I was carrying since I was 15 years old with my mother in the last 3 weeks.
Glory to God.
So it takes time. But over the years, more and more and more, I was letting go, I was letting go, I was letting go. And every time I get bumped up against something that was stopping me, I'd go inside and I'd say, what would you have me to do to release it? And the power is, it doesn't have to be me, it doesn't have to be here. Find somewhere or someplace with people you trust and tell it. Tell the secret. Get rid of it because it has power. And it's creating the negative chatter in your head. So it creates imagination, because when you carry all that doubt, fear, shame, mistakes inside of you, your mind works against you. Your imagination is what makes you infinite and powerful. You can imagine awesome and amazing and incredible things, or you can imagine that it's awful, that they're talking about you, that they're against you, right? I want you to understand, your body, right? Like when things happen, we go, I feel. Your body holds the history of emotion, not the future. So whatever you feel at any moment, you're feeling the past, not your future. Until you do the work to turn your body so that instead of fear, it feels excitement. Instead of doubt, it feels delight. Instead of anxiety, it feels exhilaration. You will always make decisions that take you and recreate the past. Your body holds the history of all your emotions, not your future. So when you say, I feel, you need to begin to validate, why do I feel this? And is this feeling going to help me get to the vision that I want to have? If it's not, then the feeling's not real. Change it. Change it. And everybody thinks emotions are so real. You can sit there and be crying in a minute, somebody walk up and smack you upside your head, you're going to be mad. Your feelings Your business will only grow to the level you will. Your business will only grow to the level you do. So you must invest. People invest in all this social media. I'm not saying you don't want it, but you also want to at the same time be in something that helps you with your mind, your self-talk, your habits, whatever that is. You must feel just as good about you in order for your business to grow. You can't grow one without the other. They must be grown together. That allows your imagination. So when you look at this, how many people see a candlestick? How many people see two people about to kiss? I'm not going to say this. Most of y'all see you kissing. So everybody stayed here at the hotel last night? Right. Okay. Somebody see a cat walking up the stairs or a cat walking down the stairs? Imagination is powerful. Life is happening through you. We all see life. Our reality is our mentality. Eyewitness testimony. Remember, if you have 5 people that stand there and experience a crime, you're going to get 5 different testimonies of that crime because we see life through us and our experiences. So what makes it real is you. So if you don't like your reality, change it.
Bring it, Meshell.
Professionals using meditation programs experience as much as a 520% in profit increase. Just 2 weeks of meditation can increase your productivity by 120%. This is data. So why meditation? Because it helps you to quiet your mind and control your thoughts. Remember, the chicken to do to your head goes off all day long. Even as you're hearing me, if you have been criticizing me the whole time, your thoughts are working against you. Right? If you're looking and trying to poke holes in what I'm saying instead of trying to find the pearls that will help you, your mind works against you. My sole purpose in life is to help as many people live with joy and enthusiasm. I wake up every morning and say, thank you, I get to be a blessing and a gift. So if somebody don't like you, something wrong with them. Because I am literally all day awesome. And the intention is to understand I was so insecure. You heard my background. You heard all the abuses I went through. The fact that I was formerly incarcerated. I've been depressed. I was angry. And I just asked, God, how can I stop caring? Because that was the voice in my head. I would be driving and weeks later replaying conversations of what people had said. And I was feeling so bad. Like, I should have said this. I can't believe they said that. They don't like me. I was so exhausted. That's what led to that ideation. It led to me going to see a psychiatrist in my 20s because I was so exhausted from the voice in my head. So exhausted. And I asked him, how can I stop? He said, stop focusing on you. Focus on them. Like, he don't talk to me long. He just gives me little statements and make me right? And I was like, okay, what does that mean? What it allowed me to do was, and it became my personal mantra, and I've done it for the last couple of decades, is you will be better off for having met me. So instead of focusing on what you thought about me, I focused on how I could leave you better. So it helped me to read books, it helped me to listen to podcasts, and listen to service. So because the more I knew, the more likely I could help you. And the one thing I found to be true was that people don't want to be instructed, they want to be inspired. Yeah. So instead of saying what you ought to do, what you need to do, what you have to do, which I have eliminated from my conversation, I tell you a story that helps your imagination start to work in your favor. In a similar situation, if somebody I know in a similar situation, or have you even thought about it, I ask you a question that helps you to cultivate your imagination, because then you own it. Imagination makes us powerful and infinite. You have 86 billion neurons that make up your thoughts on a daily basis, synthesizing, and they want to work in your favor. But until you get that chicken to do meditation to work in your favor, it won't. So every one of my clients is required to create a 15-minute morning routine. First thing they wake up, they do meditation, they do journaling, they do various things, and they must establish a non-negotiable morning routine. And I can tell by our third call, so we speak every week, if they're doing it or not. I can tell. And the difference is amazing. And I've never had to tell the client to expand the 15 minutes. They automatically do it themselves. Because your mind wants to work in your favor. And once you get consistent with that morning routine, she or he will start to talk back to you in a way you've never heard them speak. They will start to say amazing and incredible things, give you ideas and thoughts, and remind you of how amazing you are. And the more consistent you are, the better it gets. You get to choose, and that's how you choose. The difference between forgetting everything and running, freezing up and seizing up, and looking at what's wrong versus understanding that no matter what happens, I'm always ready. I get to MacGyver this situation, right? I love when things go wrong, because then I get to show people how awesome I am. There's no such thing as wrong. Wrong and right in two ways. There's infinite possibilities. So why would I waste my time in two possibilities when there's infinite? There's always a way. There's always a solution. The last letter. So what is B? Believe. What is I? Imagine. Okay, now we're at gratitude. We're going to wrap this up. Put a bow on it, literally. So, gratitude. Now, you have to believe a vision of your business. So you've got your child care center, your life, things are going well, you're imagining, you're focused, you're inviting people to work with you, you're imagining the team of people that work with you, you're imagining the trips you take, all of the amazing things that you want to create with your business, and then real life starts to happen. Somebody that calls in doesn't show up for work. You got back taxes, right? The car doesn't start, it was towed. All the real life starts happening. Because trust me, the unplanned and the unexpected are always coming. They chilling at the corner waiting for you to get all comfortable. Look at her. She all happy and easy. Let's go rock her girl. They are always coming. You will always be inconvenienced, uncomfortable, and uncertain. Always for the rest of your life. Because the one thing you do every day that you've never done before is today. Every single day is a new day, so there's always possibility of being inconvenienced, uncertain, and uncomfortable. So the only way to move through it and stay the course of your vision is just to say thank you. It's always working in my favor. I've sat down, I've done the work, I've cleared my vision, I've connected to him. He's infinite, unending, and unlimited. We got this. If he goes before me, if he stands for me, no one can stand against me. God, Buddha, Allah, divine, the source, whatever you want to call it, wants to work in your favor. You must do the work to believe. It's the belief that creates the outcome. It's not what you do, it's what you believe. Because what you believe directs what you do. Gratitude creates happiness, empowers focus, and creates this positivity. Expands appreciation, helps with the hard days. There are days where I'm actually doing presentations from the lobby on the 10th floor. She's in room 1041, UT Southwest, on Henry Hines. This time she's been there about 2 weeks. The last time she was there 30 days. And I do my presentations, my trainings. They look at me in the eye. Everybody knows about my sister. Everybody knows. We always make it work. Me, my mom, my stepdad, my stepdad's sister, we find a way. It always works in our favor. Always. Why? Because my mentality is my reality, and I've decided what's going to happen.
It's going to work.
There you go. Not easy, but I created that standard. I've changed my body so that now when I feel that initial fear, I'm like, that's ridiculous. Right before, it wasn't that. I would go back and I would start to talk. Like when someone says, what's going wrong? Nothing's going wrong. I don't have the conversations about what's going to go wrong or what somebody didn't do time when you were the most happy and joyful and grateful. You must sit there and hold it. You can do it afterwards at some point, envision it in your mind, and then whenever something goes wrong, you go back to that feeling. You just need the emotion. You just need to hold the emotion because it's the feelings that direct your focus. So I remember there was a Christmas where I got a trike. For some reason I can remember that Christmas. And that's the one I held in my mind. I remember how excited I was. I could remember the picture my mom has where my dad's pushing me on that trike. And my long little twisties. Right? I remember it very clear. And that was the thing I held because we were still a family and we were together. They divorced when I was 9. But for some reason that emotion would just make me feel with joy. So when everything went wrong, I would just set my timer for 2 minutes, hold that emotion over my eyes, and I would go. And all of a sudden I would be flooded with ideas and ways and things and people I could call, places I could go. I would start to remember all that I already knew. Your brain is a warehouse and a storehouse. Everything you've ever done in life exists inside your mind. It wants to synthesize what your future and create favorable outcomes. But when you don't allow yourself to believe, all it does is synthesize the fear that's in front of you. It just keeps repeating that back to you. You create your future. So, your assignment, should you take it?
I will.
Is to start and contact somebody by the end of today and say thank you to someone who has made a positive impact. And this is an authentic call. I want you to tell them exactly the difference they made in your life and business. And if you just did this every day to one person, just authentically found one person to contact and say thank you, you would turn your life around. Just from establishing the habit of reaching out to that first person that popped in your mind. Because you're going to be giving people like, oh man, I don't even know if I know their number. I don't know where they are. They might be too busy. Your willingness to trust the voice inside of you and do it anyway is what creates the outcome. I'll tell you this and we'll wrap up. This is me. I've always been fluffy. I decided at one point back in 2017 I was going to get slim. I was going to get skinny. So I went to this mastermind and they asked me about you got to do a health challenge. So I said, I used to live in Harlem at one point off of 5th and Madison, and the New York City Marathon came past me year after year after year. And so for some reason they said, pick something. I said, I want to run the New York City Marathon. Oh God. Oh God. Because once you say it, now you got to do it, right? So fortunately, there was somebody in the mastermind who she was one of those people who had climbed almost every peak in the country, had done 60-mile marathons, was a triathlete, and she had a desire to create a business to help people who wanted to do something crazy, health-wise. So I said, okay, practice on me, right? Remember, everything you need is always there. It's right there. And so she had we started, and I went from couch to 5K. I started with an app on my phone, and it literally had me start walking, and then it had me walk, run, and a lot of wheezing going on. A lot of wheezing. But the other thing I did was I went and Googled the New York City Marathon. So I saw pictures and videos of people finishing and crossing and getting the medal. And I noticed that everybody that went across the finish line got the medal. So every morning, remember, the first thing I do is give myself this time, 15 minutes every morning. I visualize, I meditate, I journal. I would imagine them putting that medal on my neck. 10 months, I imagine them giving me that medal every morning. So the marathon came. It took me 8.5 miles. So it was more of a walk. Remember, fluffy. And the marathon is 26.2 miles. At 18.8 miles, my hip started to go out. So I started to limp a little. Right? And at that point was the first time I recall going, oh my God. Right? I started to freak out. My mind, the chick in my head said, remember, Marines, Navy SEALs, they tell you that at 40%, when your body gets out, you got 40% more. You can last 40%, you got 41%. It's just physical, and as long as you stay focused, you can make it 40. You got at least 40% more to go. So I did math. 18.82. All right, we good. We're gonna keep going. All right, keep going. So then, because they got the mile marker, so then at 20.2, all of a sudden, now I'm like this. Now I'm like literally like this. It's like I'm stepping on fire. People walking past, I get some people come say some stuff, and now at this point, that was the second time where I was like, I didn't think I could make it. Now it's dark, I'm cold. It's the first November, Sunday, November in New York, so it's hypothermia is probably starting to set in at this point as well. As you see, I don't have a thick coat on, right? So the second thing I remember was POWs. I had heard a story, TEDx, podcast, something. But POWs who made it, prisoners of war, who made it home, held the vision of what home looked like. They could see home. They could see their family, their yards, their children, their wives. They could see. So I was like, okay, see the medal. Right? So then they gave me another verse. So I kept going. It's cold, it's cold, it's cold. So I come around and I see Central Park. And I was just like, oh my God, I could have started crying. I was so happy. Somebody came walking past me. Oh, it's 2.5 pounds. I did not need to know that. Oh my God. At that point, I was done. I was like, I am done. I am done. I don't care. I'm here. I'm tired. And as I walked, and I'm saying I'm done, but I'm still walking, which is the weird thing. So as I looked up, I saw the apparition, and I promise you, I saw Harriet Tubman. And I knew in an instant, as soon as I saw her, I remember I stood on the shoulders of people who walked to freedom. People who walked and didn't know where they were going, how long they were going to walk. They had no shoes, they had no water, most of them didn't have food. They didn't even know where they were going to end up. I knew where I was going. I knew in 2.5 miles, somebody was going to give me a medal. Right? And I shut up and I kept walking. And as soon as I got in the park and I hit a curve, there were people standing there. There was this nonprofit, like a collab for kids. Their nonprofit was to wait around that curve, and for the last 2.5 miles, they walked with me. They couldn't touch me or help me, but they just talked to me. Had I given up, I wouldn't have made it around that curve. Right? And that's what I'm telling you right now. And I got the medal. I thought I was doing that to lose weight, to be skinny. What I actually got was the understanding and the gift that when you hold the vision, that your mind, and doing that work every morning, your mind, you notice she never told me I couldn't. My creativity actively nurtured and reminded me of why I could. It takes time, it takes practice, it takes patience, it takes perseverance. If you hold the vision of your successful business, if you do this work, if you reach out to these people at Collab for Children, when you're struggling, when you feel shame, when you feel embarrassed, right? It's a wasted emotion. It's just telling you you need to make a decision to get what you want, right? I was in back taxes at one point, right? So there's always going to be something that's going to make you feel like you don't deserve it. It's your job to do the work, to hold the vision, and keep going. You got this. Remember, how many people were invited to this? You're here today. You've already succeeded. You've already said yes, and you keep saying yes. So the takeaways today for you to remember, when beliefs, whatever you believe, challenge it against what you want. Oh, that's the alarm. Telling me to stop.
Challenge it.
Challenge it, thank you. Against what you want, right? Imagine what great and better looks like for all involved, not just you. This will make you incredibly valuable. Everywhere I go, I'm thinking about everybody I'm working with. How can we all win? Because if it's infinite capability, then why would Meshell just have to win? Why can't everybody win? Abundance means that if it doesn't exist, we get to create it. And gratitude is your lever to turn circumstances and people into favorable outcomes. Start meeting people and looking for reasons they're awesome. Instead of looking what's wrong with them. Look at what's right. And make time for fun.